Hey loves, so I really want to get caught up with my pregnancy vlog so we can get into the point of pregnancy that I'm at right now. So today I'm going to discuss weeks 13 to 18. In week 13 I had another prenatal appointment and ultrasound. But by week 13 I was so weak, y'all. I had been vomiting since week 6. So just imagine vomiting 5 to 7 times a day since week 6 all the way until week 13. And nothing helping. I by this time stopped taking Zofran, which was prescribed to me by ER doctor, because it wasn't working and I didn't want to take medicine for no reason if it's not working. I had lost my appetite, so I had a very hard time eating. I struggled to eat, but I tried no matter what to always eat. I drank a lot of cereal for breakfast, because oatmeal and porridge and cream of wheat, all those things have a lot of nutrients in them. So I would eat that for breakfast a lot, and sometimes I would even eat it as a late night snack. And I was rapidly losing weight also. By this time I was down to 131 to 132 pounds. So by this time in my pregnancy I had lost about 18 pounds. I started off my pregnancy around 148 to 150, so I lost a ton of weight. Also, my stomach was still so flat at this point in my pregnancy. I couldn't understand how my stomach was so flat, yet the baby was growing and the baby was doing fine. I just couldn't understand it. My biggest fear was that I would go into an ultrasound and not see a heartbeat, because I just couldn't understand how there could be a baby in there doing completely fine, yet my belly's not growing. How is the baby growing when my belly's not growing? I couldn't comprehend that. But luckily I went into my second appointment, and my second appointment was actually a lot like most people's first appointment. My second appointment was where we had the whole overview of my body. I had the pap smear, I had a ton of blood tests, a ton of blood work. I had blood pressure measured, urine, weight and height. And weight, height, urine tests and stuff like that is, you have that at every appointment, but you don't have ultrasound at every appointment. But yeah, I had an ultrasound at my second appointment as well. And I was just so happy because my baby was doing great. My baby was measuring perfectly. Like I said, I can never understand that, considering the fact that everything I ate, y'all, I threw up. So I guess the baby was taking every bit of food that was in me, every bit of food that stayed in my body, my baby took. And basically it was just my body suffering because, like I said, I lost weight. Every bit of fat I had on my body, whether my hips, my butt, my legs, my arms, it was all gone by this point in my pregnancy. All I had by this point in my pregnancy were my boobs. By 13 weeks of my pregnancy, I went from a C cup to a double D cup. So basically, I was just sticking bones, no stomach, no nothing. All I had were the boobs. So I want to show you guys my ultrasound pictures. One thing that worried me when I went in there, because I told you guys how I was always worried I wouldn't hear a heartbeat, when the picture popped up on the screen, the baby was laying face down. Stomach down, face down. And it's funny because that's how I sleep. Well, I don't sleep face down, but I sleep stomach down, chest down. So when I saw the baby like that, I got worried because I'd never seen an ultrasound like that in my life. I watched so many YouTube videos. I've seen so many ultrasounds just on YouTube videos of pregnancy vlogs. I've never seen a baby face down, so I got so scared. But she said that was absolutely fine, so I was happy to hear that. The heart rate was perfect and the baby was measuring perfectly. The only thing was she was trying to get the baby to flip because she said it would make for nicer pictures. So she started taking the ultrasound probe and kind of pushing it down on my belly, trying to get the baby to move. And the baby would move but not flip. So the baby refused to flip back onto its back. It just stayed on its belly, which was fine. So I got some ultrasound pictures and I'm going to show you guys. So this is the baby face down on its stomach. I'm telling you guys, when you go into an appointment and you see your baby like this, it's so scary. But I was so happy to find out the baby was fine. So this is the head and this is the body. So this is at 13 weeks and 5 days. And I'm going to show you guys one more picture. This is another picture of the baby face down at 13 weeks and 5 days. Once again, you can see the head and then the body. So I was so happy to see a healthy baby once again. It makes every moment I vomit, every moment I'm nauseous, it makes it all worth it, as long as my baby's doing fine. And even with my doctor, I could tell my doctor didn't care that I was sick. All she cared was that the baby's healthy, and she was just like, you know, gave me encouraging words and basically told me, eat what I can eat, get down what I can get down, and that, you know, soon enough the nausea will lift and I'll be able to eat more healthy. So in this appointment, I also told the doctor, you know, I told her that the Zofran medication that was prescribed was not working, and she told me that she can prescribe me a higher dosage. So she prescribed me 8 milligrams of Zofran instead of 4, and she also prescribed me pills that you swallow with water instead of the tablets that dissolve on your tongue, because I think I mentioned in the last video that the tablets that dissolve on your tongue taste like stale mint, and they were just making me more nauseous than anything else, making me vomit more than anything else. So she prescribed me 8 milligrams of Zofran. She also prescribed me some new prenatal vitamins. She told me the prenatal vitamins I was taking was perfectly fine, but I was the one that actually wanted to take pills instead of chewables. I thought pills would be easier for me, especially with my nausea. So she prescribed me Prenate Mini Prenatal Gel Capsules. A couple weeks after that appointment, I found out that I was severely vitamin D deficient, which completely makes sense because I wasn't leaving the house anyways. I never left the house unless I had to run some errands. But I hadn't been out the house in so long that, I mean, I was really low on vitamin D. When she showed me the numbers, it was kind of insane how low I was on vitamin D. So she gave me some rapid replenishment vitamin D pills, and I'm still on them. Another thing I wanted to mention was I had like phobias. I had a weird phobia of just myself. I had a phobia of my skin, specifically the skin on my face, because my acne got so much worse. I got pregnancy acne, which is so much different than just regular acne. I basically got a rash on my face, and you guys can tell I still have it, but I basically got a rash on my face. On top of those rashes are cystic acne. On top of the cystic acne are blackheads and whiteheads. So every type of acne you can think of, I have on my face at this current moment, and I had it then too. So my face was really, really rough and gross, and still is. So I had a phobia of touching my face. I just hated the way it felt. I had a phobia of face creams. I hated the way that felt. I had a phobia of face washes. I hated the way that felt. It just felt so slimy to me. I had a phobia of my hair. I felt like my hair was just so rough. I just hated the way that felt. I had a phobia of nail polish and nail polish remover. Basically anything beauty related or skincare related, or anything related to mainly personal hygiene and just taking care of yourself, I had a phobia of. And then on top of that, I had a, you know, I'm nauseous and I'm weak and I'm emotionally and spiritually depleted. So I just wasn't taking care of myself. My hair was in a ponytail, and it was matted, and it was gross, and it was dirty, and I wasn't even wearing wigs. I would go out with my matted hair. I'd go out with almost no makeup. I would put a little bit of powder on my face, but that really didn't matter. With all the acne I had, I needed a lot more of the powder, but all I did was put some powder on my face. No mascara, no eyeshadow, no blush, no nothing, just some powder and my matted hair, and I'd go out and I didn't care because I was just too sick to be worried about looking good. I hadn't done my nails at this point since January, so my nails were a hot mess as well. I was just a mess. All in all, just a mess, and I didn't care because I was too sick to care. So once I left my appointment, I had started taking the new prenatal vitamins that the doctor had prescribed to me, the Prenate mini gel capsules. Those were the worst. Do not take those. If you are having problems with nausea and problems with vomiting, do not take those. Those things made me vomit so much more. I would always vomit after I took them, whether I took them at night, morning, midday. Guaranteed vomit, nausea for the rest of the day or for the rest of the night. They would give me an aluminum tasting, metal tasting taste in my mouth. Like, it just, it was weird. I just would taste metal after I would take them. And then when I would vomit, there would be black stuff in my vomit from the pills. It was just horrible. So I took them for a good week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I just gave up and I went back to my gummy vitamins. And since my doctor said my gummy vitamins were fine, I just stuck with the gummy vitamins. So towards my 16 to 18 weeks of pregnancy, I finally started feeling movements. At the time, I wasn't sure that they were movements, but now that, you know, I'm further along in my pregnancy, I know for sure they were movements. And it was just so nice just to feel just like, I don't feel like they felt like butterflies. They more felt like gas bubbles. But I know most people say they feel like butterfly flutters, but to me they felt like gas bubbles, because for a while I wasn't sure what it was. I wasn't sure if it was gas bubbles or the baby, but yeah, now I know it was definitely the baby. Also towards week 16 to 18, I started not vomiting as much, and my vomiting lessened not because I got an increased dosage of Zofran. I don't think Zofran really ever worked for me that well. My vomiting decreased mainly because I was further along in my pregnancy. So I went from vomiting 5 to 7 times a day to 1 to 4 times a day. 1 to 4 times a day is still a lot considering I had been vomiting since week 6, but it was a lot better. Although I rarely left the house, when I did have to leave the house, the 2 things that I felt were helpful were the Zofran. Although I don't think that it completely, you know, stops you from vomiting and stops your nausea, I think it definitely does help a little bit, along with chewing gum. I always made sure I ate before I left, and I would never eat on the street. I always had to come home if I needed to eat again, and I would try not to stay out for longer than 2 hours. And like I said, I take my Zofran and chew gum for those 2 hours that I was out, and that would be it.